Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Hold My Beer. I'm a follow Jesus. As you can see, I am not at home. Me and my family are on vacation. We're staying at this beautiful lakeside resort cabin and going out fishing every day and enjoying the sun. And it's been so much fun. So while I was on the water, I was really thinking about how God provides. He really provides for the birds and the fish. And we went out with a guide yesterday morning, and he was like, yeah, right now the lake is super healthy, so the fish aren't really biting a whole lot. I mean, it's good that the lake is healthy, but for fishing, it makes it a little bit more difficult because they're well fed. There's plenty of crawfish. So the northerns and the bass are eating those. And there was a mayfly hatch a couple weeks ago. Now it's a smaller hatch. I mean, we're catching fish still, but it's a little bit more difficult. And then we seen like these giant pelicans on the water and on some of the shore rocks. And loons. And we were fishing yesterday, and there was a loon right by our boat, and we were watching him, and he was so pretty. And he went underneath the water to catch food, and we were waiting for him to come back up, and we were waiting and waiting. We're like, oh my gosh, what is going on? And then he popped right back up right next to the boat, like almost hit the boat coming up. So we were curious. We looked it up. How long can a loon stay underwater? And so a loon can stay underwater for 3 minutes, and they can dive up to 200 feet. Their bones are less dense than most birds, so it helps them float and be able to dive smoothly. And then their feet are placed farther back on their body to help them like propel quickly in the water. Oh, here comes a boat. I think they're going out fishing. So it's a little loud. So yeah, their feet are positioned further back on their body so that they can propel faster and move faster in the water. That's so much thought and planning into one bird species. One. Like all these little details that God included when He created all the birds and everything, when He created everything, just how it works out. The big fish feeding on the little fish, and the cycle of when that happens, and the tadpoles are taken care of. Not that some don't get eaten, but they do, like they get taken care of. There's enough food for them. And the frogs, and just the wildlife. It's hard to sit out and watch all these things around you and understand how the ecosystem of a lake works, and the planning and the thought that God put into that. And I was just sitting on the water fishing, reflecting on all this, and being so wowed just by the thought and the details and the planning for all of the different creatures of a lake. That's just a lake. That's not the ocean. That's not the forest. It's different. Ugh, these flies. I could have done without those. Just kidding. But me and my husband this morning, we were listening to some worship music while we were fishing, and he was talking about, like I mentioned, like how impressive the planning and everything went for just the lake. And he's like, yeah, it really hits home with what is said in Matthew. So let me read it to you. Jesus says, "That is why I tell you not to worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than just clothing? Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable to him than they are? Can all heavenly Father, where am I? Can all your worries add a single moment to your life? And why worry about your clothing? Look at the lilies of the field and how they grow. They don't work or make their clothing. Yet Solomon in all his glory was not dressed as beautifully as they are. And if God cares so wonderfully for wildflowers that they are here today and thrown into the fire tomorrow, he will certainly care for you. Why do you have so little faith?" Isn't that true? Like, if God put that much thought into a loon, how much more went into you? If so much thought and planning and care went into the ecosystem of a lake, and the fish are being well fed, and he cares more about you than he does about any of that. Just to sit in this nature. I mean, it's gorgeous behind me. And then on the other side of that is the bigger part of the lake. But if he cares so much about the ecosystem of this lake and the planning that went into the loon, why are you worried? Don't worry. And take a minute to appreciate all that God has done for you. My challenge for you today is, don't worry. Don't worry about a single thing. And just be grateful for what God has given you. And go to him and pray to him and tell him everything you need. He already knows what you need. He just wants you to come to him and talk to him. Right now, I'm just telling him how grateful I am. This world is going insane. It's going insane. And there's a lot of ugliness in this world. So much ugliness. So it's helpful to take a break and see the beauty and appreciate it. Here, I'm gonna flip my camera around. Oh, come on. How can I do it? Nope. Okay, sorry. I don't know what I did. I will have to figure this out later. But there was a robin just on the shore, just bathing and looking for food. So it was exactly what I was talking about, how God cares more about you than any of these birds or creatures. So with that, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Get outside to appreciate the creation of God. And hold my beer, because I'm gonna go follow Jesus. Love you guys. Have a great day.